Hi, Randy. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. What's going on at Yahoo?
What's going on at Yahoo as I'm talking to you? It's good to see you again, Randy. I got all my props. Got all my props. Got my season
I
one
love it.
shirt. My season one shirt from,
Dude, that's a collector's item. Kelly Clarkson, the big season.
20 years. And I definitely want to talk to you about the anniversary of American Idol, but you are back on the original network of American Idol. You're on Fox for season two of Name That Tune. How has it felt to be back on TV and back like on your own old stopping grounds of Fox?
Listen, Fox and my family, I love those guys over there. They do a great job. I mean, we shot season one of Name That Tune last year in Sydney, Australia because of COVID. This year we shot in Dublin.
Oh, wow.
Uh, it's fun. It's fun. They love having fun. I've known the guys over there for a long time. Rob, who heads up alternative, was working at Psycho with Simon. So it's a family, it's friends.
Is it nice to be on TV in a different capacity? Because for so many years you sat behind a desk. Now you get to like do what you actually, started off doing, which is doing music, playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun for me. I love having fun. So this is a fun game show and it's not judging anymore because the whole judging thing, I felt like I did it, been there, done it, loved it, blessed with it. Um, but this is a different gig. It's fun. You get to name songs. So you and I could play this. Anybody can play this game. It's just a fun time.
When you say you did the judging thing, like, did did that ever sit badly? Like, I don't think a lot of people, obviously people knew that Paula Abdul was a recording artist. I don't think a lot of people coming to American Idol as viewers who were like lay people not in the business maybe realize the extent of how you started as a performer. And I know that sometimes people who are performers, Steven Tyler, J Lo, Lionel Richie now, whatever, it's hard because you've been in the shoes of people. You've been on stage, you've been judged as a performer, and then you had to do that for 13 seasons. Was that ever hard for you?
Well, no, in fact, that's what prepared me for it because I was that kid trying to make it out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana with a dream, with a heart full of hope, and trying to share my wares with the world. So it's the right way it should go because, and then what people don't really realize, no one realizes, Simon Cowell and I were A&R guys.
Yeah.
We were not just music people.
Hmm.
We were not just performers like you see on these shows. We were A&R guys. So our life's work was to try and sign, develop, find, discover new artists and make great records. So what they were about to do was exactly what we did. You know what I mean? It's a step further than just being a great performer.
I actually, now that you brought that up, in your A&R career, what is the signing or discovery? It doesn't have to be idol related, just like at MCA or whatever, that you're most proud of, that you're like, I discovered this person.
The one I'm probably most proud of when I was at Columbia Records is probably Dion Ferris.
Oh, nice.
She was in Arrested Development. We signed her out of that, made an amazing record with her that I still listen to today. We had a big hit single, I Know, on it. She toured, opened for Dave Matthews. This girl, this was a great, and that's how I met David Ryan Harris, who now performs with John Mayer, and Van Hunt, whom I later managed, who had big hits at Capitol. So it just began the whole thing. And at the same time that I signed Dion, we signed a group called the Fugees. So that whole time was just so instrumental, So I love her. D, if you out there, baby, what's going down? Hit the dog up. What are we doing? Let's get
Awesome.
back in the lab, yo.
Do you still have your hand in that? Like, are you still A&Ring, managing, any artists that you're working with
I
now?
manage quite a few writer producers. I manage a handful of new artists. So I'm still doing it. It's what I do because I love trying to break and discover new things that I think the world needs to know about.
Well, since we're talking, like I mentioned, about artist development and also about the 20th anniversary of Idol, I know you this week are going to be on Kelly Clarkson's show. And I've often wondered, obviously, American Idol became so huge. And right out of the gate, the very first winner they had was a massive star, still is a massive star 20 years later, maybe bigger than ever with all the things she's got going. Do you think that American Idol would not have taken off the way it did if Kelly hadn't been the winner? Do you think it was because, or if the winner hadn't been someone who, right out of the gate had hit songs, hit albums? Like, do you feel like Kelly's success set the groundwork for the show and other shows?
I think, yeah, I think everything that happened during that first season was really kismet. It was meant to be, meant to happen. We're meant to meet her. And Simon Cowell and I had one thing I don't know if these other shows talk about. You only really need one great winner, and Kelly was that one. So every season, only one person wins. You see all these shows, the greatest talent we've ever had. Who's the one winner that's going to carry the torch? So when we found her, it was like, oh my God, this is it. And, she went on to make a great record with Clive and Simon and the guys. And I mean, the rest is history, but she is a great talent. So the gods were shining upon us that brought her into the room. And that's what kicked the show off. And you got to remember something. There was no Voice. There was no other copycat shows. We were the lone one. We were the OGs of this game. So I always say, if you get there first, Prince, Kelly Clarkson, you just name any artist you want, the Foo Fighters, Nirvana, whatever, Judas Priest, whatever you just mentioned. If you get there first and you're dope, you're going to get all the gifts. So to me, all the other things came after us.
100%. I am wondering, it's quite famous at this point. Why did they not originally show Kelly Clarkson's audition? I know you obviously don't have a hand in the editing of the show, but she, they obviously showed it later, but she was not the front runner at that time because they did not show her audition initially in that season.
I don't know, but to me and Simon and Paula, she was always the front runner. When we met her in Dallas, she sang a little bit and I go, oh, that's the one.
Really? Okay.
She's naturally so gifted, so unassuming, great personality, she's Kelly Clarkson. What can I say?
Well, I think as important as it was to have a winner like her from the first season, it was also really important that they cast the judging right. And, you, Paul, and Simon had that lightning in a bottle, that chemistry. But I don't think I've ever talked about this with you. How did you audition? How did you get the job? Do you have memories of like your screen test or anything like that?
There wasn't a screen test. We had a series of meetings with the Fox team and the Idol team, and magically it came together. I don't know how magically it came together, but we really didn't know if it was really going to work. And anybody that says they knew is lying. No, none of us knew. The chemistry that we developed was just amazing because we didn't know about that either. And I think sometimes, you hear that phrase that ignorance is bliss. It's one of those times you didn't know. So the greatest things happened for us. We clicked.
Given your history, with your illustrious history of playing with bands, working in A&R, working in management, was there any trepidation when you were approached to do a show like this where you were like, I don't want to do, obviously you're great on TV, but were you like, this is incredible, this is weird? Like, what were your thoughts and your doubts?
All of that, because to me, and I don't mean this as disrespect, a lot of these shows, when you look at the music industry, come off corny. It's corny. So that's the thing that ruins cool. There's no vibe in that. And that's not really what music's about, right? So as you looking at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame balloting, as you and I voting, yeah. So what is cool about, and you think about the amount of artists that have broken big, that are legendary household names that didn't come off of a TV show. So it was always about that balance. Can we keep it cool and a little bit edgy so that it doesn't get corny? Because that's what I was worried about. This is my business, my life, so I want to keep it cool. It's not just about being on TV and yapping at a bunch of people. Like, will it still keep the edge and the thing? So yeah, I was definitely worried about that.
Well, that's interesting because over the years, there are a lot of artists who, for the record, I do not agree with, who thought American Idol and shows that came up like The Voice or whatever in light of American Idol were ruining the music business.
They were wrong. They were wrong. They were wrong. But to each his own.
But why do you think people were saying that, it was, I think a lot for me, I think a lot of people thought that it was a shortcut, not paying your dues if you went on a show like this.
It is a little bit of that, isn't it? So listen, we often say, if you're the best undiscovered talent in America, why are you here? Why haven't you been discovered? Aha. So there's a deep thing in that statement. So that means that maybe nobody sees you for who you are. So maybe we need to do a shapeshift to get you ready so you see exactly who you are and where you're going.
You said that you had, you related to these contestants because you started off in Baton Rouge and you had a dream. If a show like this had existed when you were in your 20s or your teens, would you have gone on a show like this as a contestant?
I don't really know, you know what I mean? It was such a different time. I don't know if I would have done it. I don't know if that was really me, like I'm that authentic like dude that like wanted to be at Woodstock and TV wasn't where I wanted to go. But I think for a lot of these artists, when you look at them, when you look at the great Adam Lambert, the Kelly Clarkson, the Fantasias, even Reuben and Clay, when you look at Carrie Underwood, these people needed this TV thing and this audience to blow them up, to get them where you could accept them and see who they really were. And they needed us to help shape them a little bit, because that's really what the show's about. Really what the show's really about. That's why Kyle and I always point out in interviews that we were A&R guys. People don't realize that. So we'd see an artist come in the room, 40 boxes would go down by their head. We just chicken them off as they're walking in. They open their mouth to sing 4 notes, you go, okay, got it. Low register's bad, upper register's okay, the middle 5 notes are great. You should probably sing this. These are the writer producers. These are the kind of songs, because they needed guidance. So that's, you mentioned it. Judas Priest was on Idol.
Yeah, they're on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot again this year.
With singing with who?
James Durbin.
Right.
It's
so
amazing.
We saw that and we said, okay, this is where this guy should be. So James, in case you didn't know, here's what should be. Adam, in case you didn't know, we're going to put you in front of Queen at the finale. In case you didn't know, this is what, so that's why we did those things.
What are your memories of well, actually, I have a couple questions about the origin story. Were there any other people? Like I said, there was great chemistry between the 3 judges. Was there any other people in the mix? I've heard that like Ted Stryker, who was a DJ on K-Rock out here.
Stryker came out. Another guy came out. I can't remember his name, because like the UK show, it used to be 4 judges. So we were trying to do that here, but it just didn't work out.
Do you remember any of the other names or anyone who tried out to be the 4th judge? I would have done it, just so you know.
You would have been good at it, Lindsay. You'd have been bombed.
No one gave me a call.
I can't quite remember, but I don't know if you remember. This is a very interesting point. At some point during, I think, the 3rd or 4th season or whenever it was, we always had guest judges. Quentin Tarantino and the lovely Katy Perry joined us. I mean, Joe Jonas. I mean, it was an interesting, because we were trying to get back to that 4-judge thing. So, we did that a lot. And in fact, Shania Twain, I'm just seeing that one. A lot of cool guests.
Yeah, very interesting. So what are your memories of being on the set the first day? And it's kind of a 2-part question. Early memories, and then the point where you did realize that you guys were on to something and this was going to be huge.
First day, 2 days, weeks on the set, I was like scratching my head like, is this really going to work? What is this? I was like, whoa, and listen, the first contestant in, Simon was berating them, and Paul and I looked at each other like, what? You ever even heard this person saying, I hate you, this is terrible, it's awful? No one had been like that to any contestant. One of the things I don't like today, there's very little truth being told on these shows. If you're terrible, you need to know it.
The Voice, I mean, I'm just going to say it. The Voice tells everyone they're great. But there is a balance, because do you ever look back on the show? Sometimes, like, the show could be considered, and I'm not even talking about just Simon in general, but there was a meanness to reality TV then. And sometimes I do think a lot of these shows went a little too far. Maybe they've self-corrected too much and now they're too nice.
I think they're all too nice now. I think they're all too nice now. Listen, Lindsay, like I know, this is a tough, hard, mean, give zero F's business. So is it a real reality show, or is it sort of alleged? So real reality show, you're telling people the truth. Wouldn't you want to know the truth? So I say all the time in interviews, the thing that helped me the most is the no's. The people that didn't like me, didn't like my playing, didn't like my songwriting, didn't like my producing. That's what made me work and try harder. It's the same thing that goes in bands. You're in a band, you're in Zeppelin. You bring in these songs and everybody starts laughing. That song's terrible. You go back and you write even better songs to bring it. So the competition and the challenge helps us get better. Not the yeses, not you're lovely, but not today. That doesn't do anything for anyone.
You don't think, though, that sometimes it got, like, not necessarily anything you said, but that the show never, like, kind of crossed the line of being too mean or anything?
Of course, there were times, I mean, I'm remembering the time Simon called someone a name. I'm not even going to use it. I got, bro, you can't do that. This has gone too far now. But being honest with someone, if you're terrible, you're terrible. Wouldn't you want to know that?
Yeah.
And maybe me saying you're terrible is going to help you get your thing together. Maybe you're going to go back to the drawing board like, no, I'm going to defeat the dog. I'm coming back. I'm coming back to get you, dog.
Do you think the reason why this show and other shows are nicer now, too nice maybe, is because, as you've mentioned, you and Simon were A&R people first primarily, and most of these shows, including American Idol, The Voice, X Factor, whatever, they aren't that. They are all now exclusively judged by pop stars or rock stars, who
And
are.
the problem with that is no pop star wants to be mean or wants to be that honest with any contestant, because imagine I'm an artist. I'm on a show, I'm judging, I'm saying that was terrible. They could say on the air, well, you're terrible too, Randy Jackson. But for me, I'm good with it because Kyle and I took one oath. If you dish it, you got to be able to get it back. Contestants will walk in and say, dog, you're fat. Well, I said, oh, yeah, I got mirrors in my house. I know I am. So that rock'em sock'em of reality is gone to me. And an artist is never going to be that brass with someone because they don't probably want to get it back. They don't want to get it back and they want to be liked.
The only artist from, well, to stick with the Idol franchise, that I think was able to dish it out that way was Nicki Minaj. I think
Of course.
she was able to be tough. She kind of became the new Simon when she was on the show for the one season she was on.
Because the community that she comes from and that she lives in, the hip hop community, it's got to be raw and real because you can't sell yourself out just for TV. Got to be you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now that you're on Name That Tune, people get to see you in your element of playing music. But when you were on American Idol, do you feel you were accurately represented? Because, we're talking about your history. I'm looking here at your credits. I mean, you've played on Madonna's album, Like a Prayer. You've played with Bruce Springsteen, George Michael, Stevie Nicks, Roger Waters, obviously famous in Journey, Divinals. You played on did you play on I Touch Myself? Like,
Yeah.
look at this resume. Amazing. And again, I don't know if you feel you were accurately portrayed as being this, like, well-rounded person in the music business, because it's TV, it's edited, it's, it's catchphrases, I mean? Like, how do you feel looking back now? Because you've been off the show for a while and it's 20 years on from when it started, on how you were portrayed. Is there anything that doesn't sit well with you now?
No, I think that I wasn't really portrayed, but the way that I really am. But, you know, people would see me on TV and they wouldn't, as you so eloquently put when we started this, They didn't look at any of the credits, any of the history. They just see you on TV and they hear a soundbite of, yeah, as an A&R guy, as a performer, this, that, and that's what they roll with. But, you know, you can't fault people for where they come in and what they do. But yeah, there were times I felt like I wish they knew that I was them. I was this kid with a dream trying to make it. Paula was that kid with a dream trying to make it. Simon, not so much, but he had other dreams of being an A&R guy, being an executive, and he's done it quite extremely well. So, you know.
So what do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about you, your image?
That I'm really an honest guy. If you talk to any of the clients that I manage, they would say to you, if you want the truth, call him. If you don't want it, don't call him. I tear down every song, every production, every shred of everything, because it's got to be great. You get one shot to make a good impression. Is the song good enough? Is the production good enough? Is the artist dope enough? Is the artist unique enough? Because I say to every artist that I meet, why do I care? Oh, I can act. Okay, great. I can sing. Okay, great. I can dance. Okay, great. I look cute. Okay, great. So does all of LA. Why do I care? What makes you special? Why am I reaching into my pocket to stream your music? Why? So you got to give me something. So all those bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they were special. Led Zeppelin, there was nothing like them before, after. The Police, nothing like it before, after. Nirvana, nothing. I'm just saying. Aretha, nothing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and you played with Aretha, right? You played with her.
Yeah, but the Stones, I'm just saying, when you look throughout history, these are unique people, not copycat.
And you play with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band now again. How are things? Are you still playing with Journey?
Yes, I'm not actually currently on the tour, but we got a new record coming out this summer. Single drops the end of April. It's a hot new record. It's dope as hell. We made it through the pandemic over 2 years.
And you're playing bass on the record, the whole album?
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Wow.
dope record, though, I must say.
I can't wait
The
to
J
hear it.
Boys ride into the future, y'all. Yeah.
You know, I interviewed Steve Perry recently when his Christmas album came out, and he said that he was approached to be on American Idol through you as a judge, which I think would have been amazing because I think he's one of the greatest
Yeah,
vocalists
he's
of all
one of the
time.
greatest ever.
Did you actually, is that true? Did you actually like really try to get him to be on the show?
Yeah, I did. Because he's one of the greatest talents ever. His eye, this guy knows it, sees it. I mean, a true original for him. I mean, singing like that in rock bands, I mean, God, the songwriting, everything that he did. I mean, look, the contributions. People are still playing Don't Stop Believing today, 50 years later.
So what can
This
you tell
band is
me?
still going strong.
What can you tell me about like the Journey music that's coming out? Like
The album's called Freedom. Album will come out mid-July. Single comes out. First single comes out end of April. It's hot. There's some stuff that sounds similar, and there's some departures that I think you will love.
are you gonna, for any of the music videos, or if you go back on tour with them, are you gonna wear the pants, the famous pants?
Oh, look at you, Lindsay. No,
I mean,
you didn't.
they brought that photo up
Ah,
so many times on the air of the parachute
Listen,
pants. It's a look, it's a vibe.
every time I see all those looks, I just go like, you know, with the help of certain inebriants, this is what you look like.
I mean, it's coming back. I feel like that look is back in vogue. I feel like you could still, you still
Yo,
have those pants.
no, thank God. I don't know where they are. I think they got ripped up and thrown out. But
Amazing.
Lindsay, I'll find you some.
I'd wear them. I'd wear them. Well, while we have time left, can I do a real quick lightning round with Idol with you? And then I want to talk about Unify Health because
Yeah,
so favorite winner of American Idol,
Kelly Clarkson, hands down.
favorite performance in general from all the seasons.
Fantasia Barrino's Summertime.
I think that's on my list at number 3. So that's a good choice. Favorite audition.
You know, I loved a bunch of them. It's hard to say the favorite though, but I love Kelly's because she slid under the table. I put her in the judge's seat, and I went and joined, then sang on her spot because it was the beginning, it was so relaxed. We're in this like VFW hall or whatever, Veterans Hall in Dallas. This is the so the meager beginnings of this great show. And it was just classic.
Favorite season, presumably one you were on. I mean, obviously, classic era,
um,
Fox era.
favorite season really probably was the Clay and Ruben season.
Okay, how come?
They were so close in the voting. It came down to the wire. It was a real competition to the end. It was a fun, funny season.
Is it true that Clay saw the envelope before, like he got a peek of it when Ryan Seacrest opened it up, so he knew that Ruben was going to win?
That I don't know, but that would be a Seacrest question.
Most shocking elimination.
Most shocking thing that ever happened to me was Jennifer Hudson's elimination. And close second to that was the fact that Adam Lambert did not win.
That was shocking to me. Obviously, he's done fine. Well, this might have you've probably answered the question, but who do you think was the most robbed? Like the person who did not win, who should have won? Is it one of those two, or is it someone else?
Adam. But look, he's done well. He's done great. But I mean, God, dude, we all thought he was going to win. We knew it. We just knew it. And you sit there and you go, what? But look, I mean, no diss to who won. I think it was Chris Allen, whatever. But dude, what? You know what I mean? I that's when I started scratching my head, like, okay, we gotta think a couple times about this.
I mean, going back to season 1, since I was talking about this, we got Tamira Gray on my show. I think she was like the first shocking elimination, the first time when people realized the importance of voting. I don't know if you have any memories about, because as great as you
she
say,
was amazing. She was amazing, and she was up there with Kelly and Justin, but she was amazing. We all loved her. That was shocking too. But I think the public hadn't really quite caught on to what the show was about. And as you say, the voting, I don't think they quite knew yet the measure of the show.
Okay, 3 more real quick. Who was your favorite guest star? I'll just say who mine was. It was when Iggy Pop performed on the show. Who was your favorite guest? It could be a guest judge or it could be a guest performer. Prince was a good one as well, but what's yours?
Prince was amazing because I never in my life thought he would do it. That was my favorite guest star. My favorite guest judge was probably Quentin Tarantino.
That was pretty epic. Why did he do it? He was just a fan?
He loved the show. He loved the show because pop culture is not really what he's about. But, you know, I just love him because he's a real artist through and through and authentic as hell. He is what he says, what he does, who he is, what you see is what you get. You know, he was just, I just thought it was great.
He was into it too. He was like super
way in, dude. He studied. He had his list of contestants. I mean, like, he's so into it, dude.
Amazing. Favorite finale? The finales got bigger and bigger every year.
My favorite one was really the Kelly one because we're all sitting there and we realized, Simon and I looked at each other and we go like, you know what? This is really gonna work. Because in that moment, when she was crowned the winner, she was singing "Moment Like This," we're like, this is going to work.
Absolutely. And what is your favorite memory overall? Overall, from you being on that show? It could be something that happened on the air. It could be something that happened off the air.
Just how much fun me, Simon, Ryan, and Paula had. Because it was live. When we went live, no one could control us. So we were wild. We said stuff that, you know, standards and practices would come down. You can't say that. I mean, you know, like we were raw and wild is what the public doesn't realize, but that's what made the show Water Cooler Talk. That's what made it real reality.
What did standards and practice tell you not to say?
Talking about Ryan's dating life. We said, Ryan, we heard you out with somebody the other night. Who was it? You were in a car? Like, we're our own TMZ. It was that off the hook. And we played with it and we talked about, you know, what crazy words we would say. Simon came up with the word, while you're judging, you got to use blancmange in your judging. I mean, we were just like crazy wild kids.
Actually, Simon once told me about a night that I don't know if you remember this. There was like a night where you guys all like went out and like caroused till like really late at night. And then you had to go to like an audition taping the next day and you've not slept. Do you remember? Do you know what he's talking about?
Oh my God, we had many of those nights. It was the Wild Boys and One Girl Club. It was crazy, but we had a blast. We had fun. You know what
Do
I
you,
mean? That's the thing. We hung out all the time, best of friends still. It was just fun.
well, I saw you like maybe 1 or 2 years ago. The three of you went on Kelly Clarkson's talk show,
Yeah.
and that sparked a lot of people hoping that maybe for this 20th anniversary that's now coming up, that maybe you guys would do something special.
You
As
never know, Lindsay. You never know.
I'm just saying, I would like to see it happen. I would like to see it happen very much.
Look that you got your idle microphone. You're
I'm
so
ready.
funny.
I'm ready to go. I can't
Ah!
believe it's been 20 years, and it's great that you're, back on TV and back on Fox and doing what you love. It's really awesome to see you back on TV. You mentioned something earlier that when people would you had people would insult you back and you could take it, you could dish it out and you could take it. And you mentioned that people used to criticize your weight, which obviously they used to body shame you. That's horrible. That's
Of
crossing the
course. I
line.
mean, well, that's crossing the line, but I'm saying if you give it, you got to be able to take it. That's the way life is. You know what I mean? Each thing, each choice that you make comes with a certain set of coordinates. So you make this choice, these are the things that can come with it. But yeah, I mean, it took me a while. I mean, I went through struggles with my weight, for years. I had gastric bypass, which jumped off my weight loss, but it all started coming back. So I developed Unify Health Labs, which is this
Yeah.
vitamin company that I started to try and help curb my weight and get my body in check. And what I realized, everything starts in the gut. All the bad diseases, getting the gut microbiome and all that together was really key. So the first product I came out with was Multi GI5 to really try and take the guesswork out of your gut health. Because I was the same guy like everyone else. I had 30 bottles and vials on my countertop in the kitchen of stuff I was taking every day. And I was confused. So I said, let me take the guesswork out, give people 4 or 5 things that they need to take every day to really take the guesswork out. So I got together with a bunch of doctors and we came up with these formulas. And I mean, I love it. It's what I use. I mean, I think I look pretty good now.
You look great. Would you say that
Thank
the
you, Lindsay.
body shaming that you got when you were in the spotlight is one of was that a major reason why you wanted to kind of get your health in
No,
order?
because I decided if you're going to be a public person when I was in high school and you're going to try and be a rock star and you want to be Jimi Hendrix, hey man, you got to give 0 Fs or don't even get on the stage. So just think about people say singers are a different breed because they're on stage fully clothed, but they're nude to the audience. Her eyes are too close together. His knees are knock knees. His teeth are jacked up. His hair, he needs extensions. I don't like his skin. He looks like he's got a puffy belly. He's like he has no butt. I mean, the audience rips you to shreds. So if you're going to take the oath to become a public person, get ready. Get ready. That's why I don't understand how people get all bent out of shape. You wanted this job. They're going to talk about everything about you. And we say they're going to hate you until you make it. Once you make it, they're going to cheer you all the way like the Rocky story. But once you've made it, they're going to try and tear you down again. Oh, yeah, it's over. Canceled and they're over. Why? Because you helped me make it? I mean, so you're going to get it. So that's why the leaders, the real rock stars, you never see them sweat. They don't care what you say.
Awesome. So when you took control of your health before, you did Unify, were there any things you tried that weren't working for you, that weren't
Lindsay, I tried
healthy?
every diet on the planet, pregnant women's urine. I tried injections. I tried all sorts of stuff because we all love a quick get rich scheme, don't we?
Mhm.
But it doesn't work with your body and it takes a while. And you got to steadily do it and stay on the regimen. It's not like you do it and then it's over. Because that's what I said, I had the gastric bypass, but the weight started coming back. You would think that would cure it. Then I had type 2 diabetes, so I had to really get my stuff together.
Pregnant woman's urine. Not heard that one.
Uh,
Don't
there are
recommend. I would. Wow.
many strange things out there.
Well, apparently. Well, I'm glad that with Unify and just in general with, your healthy habits that you aren't resorting to these weird pregnant woman's urine does not sound like probably a good
Not
idea.
fun.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound fun. You know, it's been fun though. Interviewing you. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, Lindsay, we love you. Yahoo, we love Lindsay. Lindsay's a
Aw.
real one, you guys. She's an OG. She's a real one.
Oh my God, that's gonna be my new like ringtone or something. You saying that it means a lot actually, because like I said, I've been there since the beginning. It's so great to see you on TV 20 years on, and it's always wonderful to reminisce as well. So thank you so much, Randy, for your time. Of course, maybe I'll see you at the Hall of Fame.
Lindsay, thank you so much. And I appreciate you wearing the season 1 shirt. Look at you. Look at this girl go. This girl's got it going on. Lindsay's got it going on, you guys.
I gotta represent. I will never. I know you said this is a collector's item. I'm never selling this. This is not going on
I
eBay.
love it. I love it.
I love you, and I love interviewing you. It's always a pleasure. So congratulations on everything you got going on, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you for having me, Lindsay. Be well.
You too, Randy. Take care.
Peace.